Hi everyone, welcome to the PEB channel. My name is Joel Pettit, and today I want to talk to you about military sexual trauma within the Integrated Disability Evaluation System, or MST in the IDES. I'm making this video because over my career, I've seen a lot of cases where the PTSD that stems from MST is treated differently than the PTSD that stems from combat or, let's say, a motor vehicle accident. So I wanted to shed a little bit of light on this. Now, I can't tell you why it happens because that's in the minds of the PEB adjudicators, but how it happens is actually quite clear because there's a very common pattern to these cases, and this is what I've seen. What the board does is they will find a condition, usually called borderline personality disorder, BPD. Now, BPD is a developmental issue, meaning it's acquired at birth. So by definition, it's existed prior to service. Now, existed prior to service, as I've talked about on other videos, is a very dangerous realm for service members because if you are found, or I should say if your condition is found, EPTS, and it's not service aggravated, then you can be separated from service without benefits. The good thing is that with every EPTS finding, along with it usually comes a service aggravation analysis. The sad thing is that in PTSD cases involving sexual trauma, that doesn't seem to happen because we'll see MST, PTSD, unfitting, okay, then EPTS, and then you'd think, oh, service aggravated, because even if you had borderline personality disorder, how could a horrific rape or multiple rapes not aggravate those symptoms? But for some reason, it's rarely seen. So that's the first alarm bell that kind of goes off when you see one of these cases. The next is this. When the individual is on the board for PTSD, not BPD, but PTSD, and you see a BPD being mentioned, the question that comes up then is, well, why? And usually within the rationale of the PEB, they'll say, well, the symptoms of BPD overlap with those of PTSD, and they're inextricably intertwined, meaning you can't tell when the BPD symptoms are affecting the member or when the PTSD symptoms are affecting the member and causing them not to be able to do their job. Therefore, EPTS. The problem with that analysis is that it's just wrong to say that your new condition, PTSD, because it's linked, meaning overlapping, with the BPD, that automatically which one wins out, so to speak, the BPD, that's wrong. That's just legally wrong because one court recently has interpreted that, and it's the Cecil v. Wormuth case, and I've done a video on this case, is basically that the PEBs cannot bundle conditions, meaning if a condition contributes to another condition and that is an unfitting condition, then they both must be rated by the DOD, meaning the PEB, and that combined rating is how unfit the service member is. So even in the MST case, well, let's say the BPD is existed prior to service. Okay, got it. No one can argue that because by definition it did. That doesn't stop them from rating the PTSD, meaning when the VA rates it, they use that rating and say, okay, is this person to be separated or be retired? It doesn't stop that. So basically, an MST case where the person has PTSD and the PTSD is severe enough to cause the person to be unfit, I find it hard to imagine a scenario where an underlying mental health condition could possibly render that PTSD finding EPTS. There are many different ways to have something found EPTS may existed prior to service. So I don't want to speculate too much about generalities because I don't want people applying these generalities to specific cases. But you should understand that when it comes to military sexual trauma, the PTSD in those cases has historically been treated a little differently than other PTSD. Why? Again, I can't tell you because there's no legal basis for doing so. The way the IDES works is a service member is experiencing symptoms. Let's just call it symptoms, not a condition, but symptoms, and how those symptoms affect that person and cause them to be able not to do their job or to do their job. That's what the board is concerned with. You can be unfit for something that is EPTS or not in the line of duty, but then they layer on, if you will, that, oh, it's not in the line of duty, it's not duty related, or it's EPTS. But that doesn't affect the fit or unfit finding. And that's why I would argue, logically, it's a clean process in that regard, because it enables people to make those discrete decisions and then bring on the more complex issues. But with PTSD and MST, it seems like everything gets muddled. And honestly, there just isn't a reason for it. So if you're going through this, if you're a service member and you're dealing with these issues, please go to my website, joelpettitlaw.com, give me a call, shoot me an email. I'd love to speak to you about your case. Otherwise, if you found this video helpful, click here to watch more. But thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.